Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. I am checking out the end of the Cubs Padres game. It's gotten down to the wire in the top of the ninth. There's one out. Padres have already scored one run. Batter just got hit. Now there's a runner on. The tie run is at the plate. With one down. One big swing could tie it up. Come on, Padres. Woo. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Oh my gosh. Brad Keller just hit his second Padre. The Padres now have 2 runs on base. Looks like the Cubs are going to change their pitcher. In the top of the ninth, the Cubs up by 2. They've already given up 1 run. Now the pitchers hit 2 batters. So they're bringing in another pitcher. That's pretty crazy. But that's not what you guys and gals tuned in for, is it? We can keep track of that game. But you are here for the Yankees and the Red Sox. Currently, they have a commercial going right now, so the game hasn't started yet. Happy Friday to you, Daniel. Kittredge on the mound for the Cubs. It looks like Jake Cronenworth going to be batting for the Padres. The Cubs have 13 hits. The Padres 7, but it's only 3-1. It looks like the Cubs have been getting a lot of hits, but haven't been producing. A lot of guys left on base for the Curbs today. 2 runners on with 1 out. Come on. Come on, Padres. Still waiting on some information for the Yankees. It's in the 9th inning. .97 at the bottom of the zone, a foul tip. 1 ball, 1 strike. In the Padres game, it's the top of the 9th. The Padres scored 1 run. My guess is that it was a solo homer. I didn't see it. But they have right now 2 guys on base with 1 out. Swing and a miss. Ball outside. Ball's 1-2. Still got commercials on the Yankees Red Sox game. We haven't started yet. So I'm just kind of keeping track of this last inning in the Cubs Padres game. This is a bouncer on the infield. That's going to be trouble. He barely gets him at first base. He struggles to get it out of his glove, but I think the Padres are going to take a look at it. They might challenge it. Yeah, they're going to challenge it. He might be safe, might have bases loaded. That's crazy. Had a really big answer from the Yankees yesterday. Welcome back to Yankee Stadium for Game 3 to decide this series, to see who moves on and who moves home. Looks like the Padres batter is going to be called out at first base. That'll be 2 outs. So the Padres have guys on second and third with 2 outs, and they're down by 2. Cam Schlittler is going to be on the mound for the Yankees today. He's going to be facing Jaron Duran to start it off. Checking in again on the Padres-Cubs game. Freddie Fermin is at the plate with 2 runners on with 2 outs. He hits it really hard. Oh, it's going to be playable. Too bad. That's it. The Cubs move on. The Chicago Cubs beat the Padres barely, right there at the very end. The Padres started to come back, but it was too little, too late. So you heard it here. Maybe not first, but a close second. The Chicago Cubs beat the San Diego Padres. They had runners on second and third. The tying runs on base with 2 outs, and he flew out to deep center field. Close, but no cigar. So the draft Dodgers and the Cubs move on. The 2 teams I dislike the most. But it's all good. I don't think they have the ability to get to the World Series. I grabbed myself a little snack, some eggs and pastrami. Cam Schlittler is on the mound, warming up now. The Yankees have taken the field here for Game 3. Take a look at the lineup for the Red Sox. Jaron Duran, followed by Trevor Story, and then Alex Bregman. That will be the starting 3 for the Red Sox today. JD says Huck the Fankies. Or you can say Yuck. Yuck the Fankies. Landon says, I got Yankees 6-0 now. Good luck with that. Not a very big chance of the Yankees winning 6-0. But you never know. Daryl says, hello, time flies. That's right. It's been so long since the last live stream. Hey, Casey. Yo, yo, yo. Wow. And you showed a really beautiful girl in the stadium. Unfortunately, she was wearing Yankee stuff. I'd say the same if she were wearing Red Sox. Don't feel offended. Jarren Duran is at the plate. The first pitch of the game. The game to decide the series is on the way. Swing and a miss. He goes after the first pitch. Fastball, strike one. 256 batting average and a 774 OPS for the season. 84 RBIs for Duran. 100 miles an hour, strike one. I'm sorry, strike two. That's a swing and a miss. 60 degrees in New York right now. Daryl says Boston wins this one. I had an egg omelet and a cup of coffee. I'm having that right now. A cup of coffee. I haven't poured my coffee yet. I've got the coffee grounds ready and the hot water right here. Here's the pitch, the 0-2. Fouls that one off. Another 100-mile-per-hour pitch. Here comes another 0-2 pitch. 100 miles an hour above the zone. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Hey, Jeffrey. Thanks for checking in. Thanks for liking. And you're welcome. Can you do a Harry Carey voice? Harry Carey! He flies out the center. Cubs win! Cubs win! Cubs win! That's probably what Harry Carey would have said today. Cubs move on to the playoff. They move on in the playoff. Something like that. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Broken bat, little liner, very easy to play for Chisholm at second base as Duran destroys his bat. Or was it that Schlittler destroyed his bat? .96-mile-per-hour cutter. That brings up Trevor Story to the plate. First pitch to Story on the way. Low and outside on that 100-mile-per-hour sinker. 1-0, 741 OPS, 263 batting average, 25 homers, 96 RBIs for Mr. Story. He's had a really good series against the Yanks. Here's the toss. That's high, 2-0. Now I need to pour my coffee. Time to pour my coffee. Wake up in the morning, I grab some coffee. I put in the sugar and the cream and it's tasting nice. I hope. Came in late with that one, but that's a 99-mile-per-hour pitch at the bottom of the zone for strike one. 2-1 is the count. Here's the toss. 100 miles an hour, hit straight in the air on the infield. First baseman over. Ben Rice. Have you been Rice? No, but I've been catching that ball for out 2. Number 22. Story goes down. Schlittler now has 2 up and 2 down. He's going to be facing the man with the plan as the crowd boos heavily. It's Alex Bregman, baby. LSU power. Let's see what some Tiger power can do at the plate versus Schlittler. Here comes the toss. 101 right in there. Strike one. Strange combo, coffee and popcorn. Who's having coffee and popcorn? But I don't think that's a weird combo. 85 curveball right in the zone. Bregman fouls it off. Is it playable? It is. He drops it. Ben Rice. Have you been Rice? No, but I've been missing fly balls in foul territory for out 3. Sorry, I just can't help but make that joke. It's too funny. I am not surprised to see Bregman fly the ball up like that. Fouling out and flying out to the infield is something that Bregman has done often. But Ben Rice cannot handle that one. 0-2 against Bregman. Breggy bomb. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Way high. 1-2. Ah, okay. I see where you said you had an egg omelet and a cup of coffee. I didn't say anything about popcorn. But I don't think that's strange, Daryl. Sometimes when I go to the theater, I want a hot drink, so I'll drink hot coffee with my popcorn. 100 miles per hour in there. Bregman takes it for strike 3. 3 up and 3 down. Schlittler goes through the lineup with 14 pitches. That's a moderate pitch count. Not good, but not bad. 9 strikes. 1-2-3 inning. The Yankees will be up in just a moment, starting with Grisham and then Judge and Bellinger. They'll be facing Connolly early. Not late. Not even on time, but early. Yeah, Marduk, this guy is throwing fast. 100 miles an hour, 101. He's throwing a lot of heat. We'll see how long he lasts. Did you guys and gals see that they pulled Darvish out of the game against the Cubs in the second inning? Did you see that? That was crazy. I think that he hadn't even given up but 1 run, and he had a couple of guys on base, and then they pulled him out. Is that common? Was there something wrong with Darvish? I don't know. I think it was kind of strange. I don't know any of the details. I just saw the highlight earlier where he was in the second inning and they pulled him out. All I know is the Cubs won, unfortunately. Connolly early taking his last couple of warm-ups. Trenton Grisham coming to the plate, holding the bat by the thick part, because who doesn't? What do you need a handle for? Grisham digs in at the plate, kicking at the dirt like a chicken. Judge on deck. I'm going to load up my thermos with this hot water. Connolly looking for the first pitch signal, and he's got what he wants. Here comes the toss. Right in the bottom of the zone. Barely gets it. Strike 1, 94 mile per hour fastball. 812 OPS, batting .235 for the season with 34 homers, 74 RBIs. He's got a little bit of thump on him. He's got that thump in him. Here's the pitch. 95, low and away. 1 ball, 1 strike to Grisham. Here's the 1-1 pitch. 82 mile per hour breaking ball. The sweeper on that inside corner. Strike 2. 1-2 is the count. Mark says rooting for the Sox, but that Yank thrower has some heat. Yes, he do. Yes, he do. He do got the heat. He has the heat. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here comes the toss. Outside, another sweeper, but that one was well off the plate. Yeah, you can see the score right there, the final score, 1-3. Thought the Padres were going to come back and at least tie it up in the 9th, but they let me down. They let me down. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Woo! Struck him out. 95 mile per hour sinker, and he took it right down the middle. 1 down. Aaron Judge comes to the plate. Number 99, he's measuring the plate as usual. "16 home runs off of rookie pitchers for Judge this year. 1.145 OPS, batting .331, 53 homers, and 114 RBIs. I'd say that he's a pretty decent baseball hitter." Here comes the 1-0 pitch. That's hit pretty hard into center field, but it's too high, too vertical. It's going to be caught by the right fielder. It looked like the right fielder was playing pretty shallow, and the center fielder was playing a little deeper. So that ball went a little too vertical off the end of the bat. He hit it pretty hard, just not off the right part of the bat. That's 2 down. Bellinger at the plate, and he grounds it to second baseman, or the shortstop, rather. I thought the second baseman was over there. That's out number 3. Bellinger grounds out on the first pitch. 3 up and 3 down. So it's a good first inning for both Schlittler both pitchers, Schlittler and Early. 6 up and 6 down. One error. They actually gave an error to Ben Rice for missing that foul ball earlier. How many people do we have listening in right now? Just about 17. I appreciate you being here. Make sure you do like the live stream. I'd appreciate that. Maybe we can get more than 100 people in watching simultaneously. That'd be nice. Already got about 12 likes on the live stream. Thank you for that. That's not a bad ratio considering we have less than 20 watching right now. Maybe we can get this party jacked up to over 100 concurrent viewers. That'd be nice to keep over 100 people watching simultaneously. Avatar, Fire, and Ash. How many Avatar movies are they going to make? I wasn't really impressed by the first one. And yet many people were. And now they've got a third one. I never even saw the second one. Are you guys Avatar fans? Schlittler back on the mound. He's going to be facing Masataka Yoshida. Yoshida is in the lineup today as the DH. Here's the first pitch. 98. Upper outer corner, strike 1. Cedon Rafaela on deck. Nathaniel Lowe in the hole. 695 OPS by Yoshida, or Yoshida. Batting .266 for the season. Here's the toss. He fouls it off down the first base side for strike 2. 0-2. .99 high. Ball 1. Schlittler gets the call. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. High and outside on the 100-mile-per-hour fastball. 2-2. The count is even to Masataka. Opposite field single. Good at bat by Yoshida, Masataka Yoshida. He continues to have a pretty good series against the Yankees. First hit of the game, first base runner. Nobody out. Cedon Rafaela at the plate. Here's the toss. Inside, 99 miles an hour, ball one. I want to know is the count. 20 pitches now for Schlittler. Here's the next one. Inside, 2-0. My coffee's calling my name. Oh, heck yeah. That's good stuff right there. 2 balls, no strikes. Here's the toss. Right in there, 98 miles an hour. Schlittler goes into his delivery so much faster from the stretch. His normal delivery is really slow. 2 balls and 1 strike. Here's the toss. Rafaela swings at that one. 98 on the inside. Can't get the bat on it. And the count is even 2-2. He liked that pitch. He was nodding, giving his approval to Schlittler for that pitch. Crowd is standing on their feet, hoping for a strikeout, but that's in the dirt. Full count. 99-mile-per-hour sinker, doing what sinkers do. It sank, but just a little too much to be competitive. They said that Rafaela's mom was a big Braves fan and liked Chipper Jones. That's funny. Fouled out of play. Souvenir for somebody. Everybody listening in from the U.S., or do we have anybody abroad right now? I know that the crowd that we have currently is only about 25 people listening in, but I'm always interested to see where people are located. Here's the toss. 99 up and in, foul tip caught by the catcher. That's strike 3. 2 strikeouts now for Schlittler, and that's the first man down in this inning. Snow cone catch by the catcher. Nathaniel Lowe comes to the plate. Is it just me, or has he gained some weight this year? Little throw over to first base to keep him honest. Yoshida gets back, no problem. 1 out, 1 on. 688 OPS, 228 batting average. 18 homers and 84 RBIs for Mr. Lowe. 99 at the top of the zone. He check swings, but that was in there at the top of the zone for strike 1. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Same spot, 99 miles an hour, and fouled off. The count's 0-2. Let's see if the crowd gets on their feet again. Daryl says maybe the Astros draft an Asian pitcher. Well, I'll tell you this, Daryl. There are some guys available over just in Japan that would be really good. Here's the toss. What just happened? Oh, okay. All right, something happened on the screen. Ball 1. Schlittler started coughing there. Not sure exactly what's going on. Maybe he accidentally swallowed his spit the wrong way. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here's the toss to Lowe. Not 100 miles an hour inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The crowd boos. Look at him yelling at the umpire. Don't be retarded. It was a ball. 2-2. Here's the toss. Ooh, right in there and fouled off. That's a nice bat crack sound. Two balls, two strikes. The count remains. Here comes the pitch. 97 up and in, fouled off again. Schlittler is now up to 16 pitches average per inning. He's thrown 32, 20 of those in the zone. He's having to work right now. He's only got one out. Masataka Yoshida on first base. He might be stealing right here. Nope, he's not. Pitch in the bottom of the zone for strike 3. Rung him up on a 101 mile per hour fastball or a sinker. Got to swing at that one, Low. Can't let that go. Low, let it go. And it was a strike down low. That was the wrong pitch. Yeah, 101 at the bottom of the zone. Got to swing at that. Here's the toss. 99 below the zone. Ball 1. Carlos Narvaez at the plate. Yoshida led this off with a hit. So far, he's been stranded twice. Rafaela, Low, both were unable to move him over. And now Carlos Narvaez at the plate with 2 balls. Let's see if he can do something. Here comes the next pitch. There's a bouncer to the left side. Volpe grabs it, makes a little bit of a high throw, but it gets there. And that'll be out number 3. Schlittler gives up 1 hit to Yoshida, a single right off the bat, but nothing comes of it. He gets the next 3 batters, and we're done with the top of the second. Bottom of the second coming up, the Yankees will be at the plate, starting with Giancarlo Stanton, Ben Rice, and then Ahmed Rosario. They'll be facing Connolly early. But man, they made Schlittler work. He has thrown 36 pitches in 2 innings, averaging 18 per inning. That's pretty high. Jeffrey says, in the 2002 World Series, Barry Bonds had 8 hits, 4 homers, 13 walks, 7 IBBs. He reached base 28 times in 7 games, and his team lost. Wow, that's a lack of support right there. That sounds like Michael Jordan scoring like 70 points in a game, getting 15 rebounds, blocking 10 shots, and his team still losing, taking everything on his shoulders, and just doesn't have the team around him that he needs to win, you know? That's what it sounds like. Yeah. Intentional base on balls. Intentional walks. Yep. Yeah, no doubt they stranded him a lot. Might have stranded him all 7 times, actually. Lack of support, lack of team support there. I wonder how their opponent did with the hitting. Connolly early back on the mound. First pitch to Stanton, 87 just inside, ball 1. Daryl, Scottish pitcher with a kilt on the mound. Can't imagine what we would all see when he kicked his leg up. That's in there for a strike. 101. I appreciate everyone coming in today. Just trying to stay busy during the Astros off season. 77 miles an hour, a little outside, 2-1. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. That's hit really hard to left field. That was destroyed into the upper deck. But he came around on it way too early. 116 miles an hour. Judge was clapping for that one. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here comes the pitch. That's hit hard to left field. Left center might be gone. It's off the wall. Is he going to be able to get to second? They almost throw him out at second. He wasn't running very fast. I guess he thought that was going to be gone. 114.5 miles an hour off the bat. That was a really strong hit. Not as strong as the foul ball. Look, he was just standing there. He was walking. He thought he's calling out for a home run. He's like, oh, crap, it's not a homer. That ball went off the wall. It didn't even quite make it halfway up the wall, and he was walking and calling out like it was a home run. He almost got threw out at second base. Kind of a dopehead move for a player like that. Ben Rice is at the plate with an .836 OPS, .255 batting average, 26 homers and 65 RBIs this year. Have you been Rice? No, but I've been playing for the Yankees. Here's a 0-1 pitch. Half swing on that sweeper. Yeah, look at him. He hits the ball, Stanton, and he's fired up about it, and he's walking. Then he realizes, oh, crap, it's not going to be out. He's even jogging there for a minute. He barely gets in there. What in the world are you thinking about, buddy? High pitch. 1-2 is the count to Ben Rice. Stand on second, no outs. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Ben Rice. Here's the toss. Ground ball down the first base side. Foul. Count remains 1-2. Jeffrey says a sumo wrestler pitcher. Well, I'll tell you this. Sumo wrestlers are not just big guys, but they are freaking strong. You have no idea. They are really strong guys. 83 miles an hour in the dirt, swing and a miss. You been Rice? No, but I've been swinging at balls in the dirt. Early to Rice. That's early Rice right there. 1 down. Got him chasing. Gone golfing. Trying to hit the ball out of the sand trap. Stand on second base with 1 away. Ahmed Rosario at the plate. That first pitch is low. A slider. 1-0. Yankees just 2 for 15 with runners in scoring position in this series. Are you kidding me? That's crazy. That's terrible. It's not the kind of numbers that a World Series team needs to be putting up. 2 balls and no strikes now with that ball in the dirt. Fried lice. It's funny you say that because that's basically Japanese pronunciation if they say rice. It's lice. Here's the 2-0. 87 on the outside edge, strike 1. 2-1 is the count. 30 people watching right now. Thanks for joining. I appreciate you liking the live stream. And I appreciate you donating $100 each. That's rifled down the third baseline, foul. And the count is even, 2-2. One of my regular subscribers donated $10 to me the last live stream. Hey, for some reason you are listening, Gregory. Thank you so much again for those super chats. I appreciate it. I put a little thank you on the board just for you. That's grounded third, down to third, right by Bregman, but foul again. The count remains 2-2, and I'm going to have some more coffee. Yeah, you can see right here, it just barely goes foul. Good thing, too, because Bregman actually missed that one. I think he might have just let it go, though, since it was foul. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. That's hit hard into center field, but once again, too vertical. Right fielder comes in. He's playing shallow, and he puts it away. Stanton still on second base. Stanton is standing. Giancarlo Stanton on second base. Jazz Chisholm comes to the plate. Chaz Chisholm. 813 OPS, 242 batting average, 31 homers, and 80 RBIs this year. Here's the first pitch. 83, just barely low and outside. Close to that corner, ball one. Here comes the 1-0 pitch from early. Nope, he throws it to second base. Try to pick off Stanton. Story has to make a scoop in the dirt. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Strike in the bottom of the zone on the sweeper. 1-1. Here comes the 1-1 pitch from early. Chisholm swings at that one and misses it. 95, just above the zone. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Whoever wins this game is going to be facing the Blue Jays. But you know, after watching these teams, I have a feeling that the Blue Jays are going to be able to win out. And George Springer will be moving on. Outside in the dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Chisholm. Fouls it off. 84 inside curveball. Count remains 2-2. They're showing that great run that Chisholm made the other day from first all the way around to score on that single. Two balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Runner on second. Here's the pitch to Chisholm. Long delay by early. 95 hit straight up and back out of play. Count remains 2-2. Hey, Fox at Bat, good to see you. Good day to you. Boston baked beans. I used to eat those candies, the Boston baked beans candies, when I was a kid. Chocolate covered peanut, not chocolate, candy covered peanuts. 95 mile per hour sinker right in there. Strikes him out looking. Chisholm called out on the 2-2 strike pitch right in the zone. Good toss. So a similar inning in the first and second for both teams. Red Sox get a hit, strand him. Yankees get a hit, strand him. So we have one hit for each team, but nothing but goose eggs on the board right now. Otherwise, no runs. Well, there is one error on Ben Rice for missing the foul ball, so there's that. Jeffrey says they have a Biggio in Toronto. Might be Bregman. Yeah, was it Craig? No. What am I saying? Why am I saying Craig Biggio? That's the wrong Biggio. I can't remember the guy's name. What's his first name? I forget. I totally forget. Might be Bregman versus Springer. Yep, if the Red Sox move through, we will have a mini Astros game to watch. A 5-game Astros series, right? A mini Astros series. But we'll see. Right now, it's anybody's game. Kind of a pitching duel at the moment. 36 pitches for Schlittler. $31 for Early. So he's thrown 5 fewer pitches. And he's thrown more in the zone by percentage than Schlittler. They're showing all of the World Series and playoff moments between the Yankees and the Red Sox. Wilyer Abreu at the plate facing Schlittler. Here's the toss. 99 outside, ball 1. Gavin Biggio. 1-0 is the count. Here comes the pitch to Abreu. 99, low and outside. It feels weird saying Abreu. It's not Jose Abreu. It's not Brian Abreu. 1 ball, 1 strike. 786 OPS, 247 batting average. 22 homers. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the toss. Outside. 2-1. Here's the pitch. Hit high in the air. Third baseman, Rosario's underneath it. He puts it away for out number 1. Abreu flies out. That'll be Romy Gonzalez coming to the plate in just a moment. And then Jarren Duran back to the top of the batting order. Wow, look at how many pitches have been thrown by their relievers. They've only got a few guys that haven't thrown pitches. The Red Sox, that is. Here's the first pitch to Romy. 91 on the outside edge. Strike 1. Oh and 1 is the count. Here comes the pitch in the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Right in there. 100 mile per hour fastball, and the count is 1-2. Top of the third, one down, nobody on for the Red Sox. Here comes the toss. 100 miles an hour, swing and a miss. Number 4, strikeout for Cam Schlittler. And he gets that one against Romy Gonzalez. He actually swung over that ball. Yeah, even though Tucker's with the Curbs, I want them to lose. So I was disappointed to see the Padres win today. Here's the toss. 100 miles an hour right in the bottom of the zone. Strike 1 to Jarren Duran. 2 outs and nobody on. Of course, I always want the Dodgers to lose. 774 OPS, 256 batting average. Today, he is 0 for 1. There's another pitch right on the outside upper corner. Strike 2. Schlittler ahead in the count, 0 and 2. Here comes the toss. Fouls it off. 100 miles an hour. Count remains 0 and 2 to Duran. It's kind of interesting how the Astros lose these players and then all of those guys are in the playoffs and the Astros aren't. Duran runs to first on a strikeout. But the catcher makes the throw no problem, and that's going to be it for the Red Sox in the inning. 4 strikeouts for Schlittler. He's up to 48 pitches, 38 in the zone, 31 in the zone, I'm sorry. This is such a ridiculous commercial. They've got this phone set up like it's this iPhone set up and using it like it's a legitimate film camera. Apple thinks way too much of their phone. If they really want to make a good phone, then stop coming out with a phone every single year. Why not come out with a phone when you actually have some really nice updates, some new technology, a battery that lasts longer, no bloatware, and software that cannot be hacked into? Do those things. I'd be more interested. Bottom of the third coming up in just a moment. Anthony Volpe will be starting things off for the Yankees, followed by Austin Wells and Trent Grisham. Volpe batting 8th, Wells batting 9th, and Grisham, the leadoff batter. The only hit so far today for the Yankees is from Giancarlo Stanton. He had a nice double off the wall in left center field. He thought it was a homer. He barely made it into second base before he almost got thrown out. Volpe comes to the plate. He had a pretty good game 1, but it didn't matter. The Red Sox were able to put him away, no problem. It flipped yesterday. The Yankees were the ones to pull it off and stay in the series. 93 on the inside. First pitch is a ball. 663 OPS, 212 batting average, 19 homers and 72 RBIs. Pretty poor performance this year for Volpe. Another ball outside, 2-0. Here comes the next pitch from early. 92 miles an hour on the outside edge. Swing and a miss. I'm sorry, swing and a foul. Foul ball, miss. Same thing in this situation. It results in strike one. 2-1 is the count. Here's the toss. 88 miles an hour, low and inside. Called a strike. Could have gone as a ball. 2-2. Here comes the pitch. Struck him out on a curve. 82 in the bottom of the zone. Volpe swings and misses it. Started off 2-0, came back and got the strikeout on the 2-2 pitch. Here comes the next pitch. 95 miles an hour outside to Austin Wells. 711 OPS, 219 batting average, 21 homers, and 71 RBIs for Austin Wells. Batting ninth in the Yankees lineup. Here is the pitch. 82 miles an hour, low and away on the sweeper. 2 balls and no strikes. Here comes the next pitch. 93 in the top of the zone. Strike one. 2-1. Timeout called by Wells. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Nice. 95 mile per hour sinker. Right in the bottom of the zone. The count is even. The same way he started off the last batter. 2 balls and then came back with 2 strikes. Let's see what happens here on the next toss. Strike 3. The sweeper right in the bottom of the zone. Wells just stands there and lets it go for strike 3. That was the exact same result as the previous batter, Volpe. The only difference is that Volpe swung at it. Back-to-back strikeouts, and that brings up the leadoff batter, Trent Grisham. He goes after the very first pitch and hits it right up the middle. He wastes absolutely no time. He's like, nah, I'm not interested in no 2-2 count. Second hit for the Yankees today. Earlier double by Stanton, and now Grisham's single. 93 mile per hour fastball right in the top of the zone. Good one to get the bat on. Nice crack. And Aaron Judge at the plate. Here's the toss. 86 low and outside in the dirt. $16 homers. Most of any MLB player. 16 MLB homers against rookies. 81 miles an hour at the bottom of the zone. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here comes the pitch. Grounded down to the third base side by Judge. Bregman goes over to first, and that's the 3rd out. So Early has retired Judge twice and retired everybody else in the Yankees lineup at least once, except for Stanton. That's it for the 3rd inning, guys and gals. It's scoreless, 0-0. 1 hit for the Red Sox so far. 2 hits for the Yankees. Masataka Yoshida has a single. Grisham has a single. And Stanton has a double. 1 error for Ben Rice. And those are the only numbers I have for you right now because it is nothing to nothing. Nothing burger to nothing fries. The goose is loose. The goose. Daryl, do you know or do you remember who the Goose is? There was a pitcher in the MLB called the Goose, or they called him Goose. I won't say his last name because if I say his last name, you'll know who it is. But can you tell me what his name was and who he played for? That's a little bit of a trivia question. I should probably put some kind of trivia question in there. There we go. There's a little question for everybody to consider. What pitcher called Goose tossed in the MLB and for what team? Let's see who can get it. Schlittler is back in the game. Back up on the mound. First pitch is outside, 92 miles an hour. Check swing, they say he didn't go. That's ball 1. Why can't I see the chat now with that Q&A? I'm going to take the Q&A down, but I'm going to copy it. Next pitch is right in there for a strike. Trevor Story at the plate with a 1-1. Hey, Doug, you got it. Goose Gossage. That's right. Goose Gossage. Smart guy. 2 balls and 1 strike to Story. Leadoff batter for the Red Sox this inning in the 4th, the top of the 4th. Here's the pitch. Oh, wow. Hey. There's a hit out to right field. That was not why I was saying, wow, hey. Judge puts it away. Trevor Story flies out to right. Alex Bregman will be up in just a moment. Fox at bat, thank you so much for that donation. MX, $19. First pitch to Bregman from Schlittler is on the way. Bregman hits that one out to right field also. Judge is underneath it and puts it away for out number 2. 100-mile-per-hour fastball. Bregman couldn't get around on it, but he got the bat solidly on it. However, it was right to Judge for out number 2. Here's a toss. 100 miles an hour on the upper outer corner. Strike 1. Masataka Yoshida at the plate. He had a single earlier at his first at bat. 2 outs and nobody on right now. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss at that ball on the outside upper corner. 100 miles an hour. 0-2 is the count. Here comes the toss in the dirt, low and inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the next pitch, the 1-2, and that's hit into left center field. Another opposite field single by Yoshida. Masataka Yoshida getting it done with a 2-2, 2 for 2 tonight. 2 for 2 night. Look at that. Steps up, hits it off the end of the bat, opposite field. Two outs and a runner on for Ceddanne Rafaela. He hits that one on the right side. Sounded like a broken bat. Easy out for the second baseman. A little scribbler, a dribbler on the right side of the field. Rafaela grounds out. And Yoshida is stranded. 2 hits now for both teams. Top of the 4th is finished. We go into the bottom of the 4th. Connolly early back up on the mound for the Red Sox to face Cody Bellinger, Giancarlo Stanton, and Ben Rice. Fox at bat, I really appreciate the donation there. Now that I have an opportunity to... There we go. There we go. Arigato gozaimasu. Much appreciated, sir. Thank you very much for that super chat. Very much appreciated. Definitely helps to cover with things like the internet, the electricity, and all of that good stuff. Let's see here. Jeffrey says this is definitely one of the top rivalries in sports. Yeah, there's no love lost between these teams. That's for sure. Red Sox fans and Yankees fans, there's some genuine disgust between these two teams. It's funny because the same sort of thing does not exist between the Astros and the Yankees. The Astros don't have much of a problem versus the Yankees. So there's no real rivalry there because they currently pretty much own the Yankees. But Yankees fans, I actually made a friend of mine angry because he's a big Yankees fan. He's Chinese, but he was actually raised in New York. So he's what you call ABC, American-born Chinese. He lives in China right now. But he got really angry with me one day because he mentioned the rivalry between Houston and New York. And I said, there's no rivalry between Houston and New York. And I was being honest. I wasn't saying anything to be controversial. Hey, Doug, thanks so much for that super sticker. Is that a lemon? It looks like Lemon Grab from Adventure Time. That's cute. Arigato gozaimasu. Thank you for that cute sticker. Reminds me of Lemon Grab. Unacceptable! I can't do that voice like he can. 2 balls and 1 strike to Bellinger. The leadoff batter for New York here in the bottom of the 4th. Here's the next pitch. Swing and a miss below the zone. 2-2 is the count. But yeah, I mentioned to my friends that there was no rivalry between the Yankees and the Astros. And he got angry. He said, yes, there is. He got very persistent about it. And I said, well, you know what a rivalry is, right? And he just looked at me. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Here comes the full count pitch from early. That's hit high in the air by Bellinger. Shallow right field. Might be hard. And did he get it? No, he didn't get it. He dropped it. Had 3 guys go out to get it. It stayed up there for a while. Center fielder slid to get it, Rafaela. It went in his glove, but he couldn't hang on to it. Take a look at this. The second baseman, right fielder, and center fielder. Wow, just barely couldn't get to it. Rafaela almost got to it. Right fielder had to pick it up and throw it in, but we have a runner on second base. Stanton at the plate. Stanton has a double today. He hit a rocket off the wall in left center. Opportunity for the Yankees with no outs and a runner on second here in the bottom of the fourth. Here's the pitch. 94 inside, called a strike. 0-1. No, I'm sorry, 1-1. Thank you so much, Fox at Bat. I appreciate that. Fox at Bat says, just a little for how much you give us. I really do appreciate it. Seriously. Much appreciated. Here's the toss. 93 up and in. 2 balls and 1 strike to Stanton. But I told my friend, you know, the rivalry doesn't exist between the Astros and the Yankees because the Astros and the Astros fans don't look at the Yankees as a rival. A rival is a guy that who sometimes beats you and you beat him and you're always neck and neck and you're always trying to beat each other, right? But the Astros don't have that type of relationship with the Yankees. The Yankees are always trying to beat the Astros because the Yankees have hurt the Astros. The Yankees have been hurt by the Astros many times, but it has not been returned. So the Astros have no rivalry against the Yankees. And it's just true, but he got angry about it. Full count. Honest Yankees fans will understand what I'm talking about. Here's the pitch, the 3-2. Fouled off that swing. Stanton at the plate with a full count, nobody out. Runner on second base. Conley early up to 57 pitches. What am I missing in the live chat here? Estrel says Seattle wipes either one of these teams. It is a possibility. 94 up and in. Ball 4. Stanton walks. Good at bat. Stanton's had a pretty good day today. Nice long hit for a double. His last at bat. He gets a full count walk this time. Pitching coach's going to come out. Pitching coach. And the infield's going to have a little meeting on the mound with Conley. Ben Rice at the plate with nobody out. Runners on first and second. Patty says, who are we rooting for here? You can root for one or the other or neither. It's okay with me. Whatever you think is fine, Patty. Even if you say, I don't care for either one of them. I hope they both lose. That's fine, too. Daryl says, welcome to Astros After Hours. Astros After Hours. Astros After Hours. Today's program. The first half of the program is brought to you by our donors, Fox at Bat and Doug Noble. Something like that. Here comes the first pitch to Ben Rice, and that's in there. 93-mile-per-hour sinker for strike 1. Gregory asks, what pitcher would the Astros need from these two teams? Swinging a foul tip miss on the sweeper. 0-2 is the count against Ben Rice. Have you been Rice? No, but I've been swinging at pitches that I can't hit. The Tigers lead the Guardians all time in their series by 1 game. Yeah, that's right. They were perfectly tied up. 84 miles an hour, low and outside, swing and a miss. Wow, Ben Rice goes down again. Lefty on lefty crime right there. 2 strikeouts for Ben Rice today. He can't touch the ball against Conley early. It landed in the Bermuda Triangle out there. That's right. 84 miles an hour, low and outside. Ball 1 to Ahmed Rosario. Runners on second and first. Yeah, I went backwards. I'm old school like that. They used to say that. Runners on third, second, and first. Rosario hits it through the left side. They're going to wave him in. Here's the throw. It's going to be close. They should have him. No, he gets in there. He's safe. I thought for sure they were going to have him, but when that ball came into the infield, it slowed down, and it was off target. I feel like he could have made a better throw. The Yankees score first, 1-0. Runners on second. First and second, rather. How about that? Right through the left side. He dove for it, but he couldn't quite get it. Yeah, if that throw had been better, they could have gotten Bellinger. But he was able to make the play. Good hustle, 1-0. Runners on first and second with 1 out. Jazz Chisholm is at the plate. Here's the first pitch. Swing and a miss. 94 miles an hour right in there on the fastball. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Whoa, that could be down, and it is. Chisholm hits a single into right field. They bring it in. Bases are loaded. Stanton held up. Everybody kind of held up there because they weren't for sure if that was going to be caught or not. No run scores, but bases are loaded with 1 out. And they're having a little discussion with the bullpen on the Red Sox side. The Yankees play it safe there instead of taking a wild guess. Bases are loaded with 1 out for Anthony Volpe. And he hits it high in the air on the right side, and that'll be foul into the seats. Maybe this is the one guy in the lineup that the Yankees fans do not want to see with bases loaded and 1 out. Anthony Volpe batting .212 for the season. OPS in the negatives, maybe. Pretty low, like 600 and something. He grounds it on the right side, and it's going to be through. They're going to hold Rosario. The throw goes over the head of the catcher, but the pitcher's there to back him up. It's 2-0 Yankees. Volpe with an opposite field hit past the diving second baseman. Man, just like that, Conley early is suddenly getting lit up. They are slicing and dicing and picking him apart. Stanton scores. It's 2-0. Gregory says, boo, Yankees. Ryan says, watching Ben Rice play first this year is like having Jim Abbott play third base. Really? From what I understand, the Yankees are not very solid with their defensive fundamentals, though. Bases are still loaded with 1 out. Austin Wells at the plate. The dangerous Trent Grisham on deck. First pitch is fouled away. There's that hit by Volpe. Just barely got it through. It was not hit very hard, just barely poked it through. Here's the 0-1 pitch, fouls it off. Wells went after the sinker. Counts 0-2. Cora has some pitchers going out in the bullpen. Austin Wells struck out his last at bat. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Fouls it off again. Another pitch right on the inside. 94-mile-per-hour fastball. Gregory says, who will play the Mariners? That will be the Tigers, my friend. The Detroit Tigers. Here's the pitch. In the dirt. The Tigers won today over the Guardians, so they advance to play the Mariners tomorrow. I hope you all can join me for that. I'm looking forward to that series because I want to see how the Mariners do. I'm no Mariners fan. And I wouldn't say that I'm a Tigers fan either. I'm only an Astros fan, but I'll tell you this, I am interested to see how the Mariners do in the playoffs. If they win out, I'll say, well, they managed to do it finally. But if they lose, I'll say, ha-ha, same as always. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Wells. The Yankees have bases loaded. We got the people praying in the stands again. Lots of religious people in New York whenever they need them to do something. When Yankees fans feel confident, they are cussing and yelling and drinking lots of Natty Light. But when they are scared, when they're scared or nervous, they start praying. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Outside, 3-2. Here comes the pitch, the 3-2, fouled off. Wow. They call catcher interference on that swing. And that's going to bring in another run. Is that what it was? That's strange. They're checking to see if there was interference here. No. No interference. Yeah, because actually, the strange thing is they called catcher's interference, and now they're checking it. That was a foul tip off the bat, and the ball bounced off the glove, but the bat never touched the glove. And actually, Wells didn't go to first base. He stayed at the batter's box. I think he knew that it wasn't catcher's interference. So they're going to review it. But that is not going to be catcher's interference. The score on the screen says 3-0, and that's because it was ruled catcher's interference. But Wells never went to first base. He knows that it's not catcher's interference. Yeah, he's like, it's not, it's okay. It's not catcher's interference. Even the catcher knows that. Everybody knows it's not right. Narvaez is behind the plate, and you can see that the bat never touches the glove there. Yep, they say the bat did not hit the glove. Call in the field is overturned. Boston keeps their challenge, and we'll have another full count pitch. The count remains 3-2, and the score remains 2-0. Here's the pitch. That's off the glove of the first baseman, and it bounces into right field. They might get 2 runs. That's going to score 2. Chisholm is fast. He comes in on the heels of the other runner, and that's 2 more runs. It's 4-0. Connolly early has been lit up for 4 runs, and they have runners on first and second with 1 out. He tried to backhand it on the hop, and it went right off his glove. What should have been a fielder's choice or a possible double play turns into 2 runs for the Yankees. Whoa, 91 way below the zone. Called a strike by the umpire. Trent Grisham at the plate, and he looked at the umpire and he was like, "Are you sure about that call?" Estro, I saw your comment. You only have to say it one time. You don't have to keep spamming it. This is hit out to right field. He makes the catch and he throws it in. Nobody's tagging. Wow, Volpe was off the bag there. He almost got tagged out. Not paying attention. Aaron Judge comes to the plate with 2 outs and 2 on. Yeah, he barely got on. Volpe wasn't paying attention. And they're finally going to pull early out after all that. 78 pitches. After 78 pitches and 4 earned runs, and he still has 2 runners on first and second, they finally pull him out, and they're going to bring in another pitcher. 6 hits for the Yankees and 4 runs on the board. Aaron Judge just flew out for out number 2. Cody Bellinger is due up next for the Yankees. Yeah, Doug, they should have already changed pitchers, in my opinion. So I agree, but I'm wondering why they took so long to do it, you know? They let everything not only start to come unraveled, they let it fall apart. They just gave up. I don't quite get it. What was he expecting to happen, you know? When they hit him, they were obviously hitting him right and left. They weren't having any problems hitting the ball and getting contact. Even the errors, the little dribblers through the hole. I mean, at the very least, you got to recognize that the Yankees are putting the bat on the ball and they've got guys on base. So you got to pull that pitcher. You got to pull that pitcher. Yes. Jeffrey, to answer your question, I meant to answer that question. It is Friday. It is 10:30 in the morning on Friday for me. Four to nothing Yankees. Conley early is out early. After just 4 2/3 inning. Justin Slayton is in the game for the Red Sox. Very first pitch hits Bellinger. No, that's Judge. Sorry. Judge was at the plate. Aaron Judge gets hit on the wrist on the very first pitch. So the new pitcher comes in, Justin Slayton, and proceeds to hit Judge right on the wrist. Next pitch right in there to Bellinger. He hits it way up into the outfield, and the center fielder, Duran, comes over. The left and center fielder need to communicate a little better. They almost run into each other. But he makes the catch to end the inning. A bigger disaster avoided, but it is 4 to nothing Yankees at the end of 4. We're going into the top of the 5th. 6 hits for the Yanks, 2 for the Sox. 1 error for each team now. 4 to 0. Fox at Bat says he was asking Espada for advice. Did he call him? Probably. Probably so. He called Espada, and Espada said, "Oh, you got some runners on. He's already given up a couple of runs. I don't know. Give the kid a chance. Leave him in there. See, let him work it out. He's got to learn. He's got to learn his lessons. He made his bed. Now let him lie in it." Cora's like, "Oh, all right. I'll take your advice." Then they give up a couple more runs, right? And then he says, "You know what? I'm not going to listen to Espada. I'm going to go ahead and pull him out." Yeah, Jeffrey, they pulled Darvish out, but they pulled Darvish out, in my opinion, way too fast. But I think they got it wrong. Didn't Darvish give up just one earned run in the second inning? And they had a couple of runners on when they pulled him out? Now, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but earlier today, I just happened to see some quick clips while I was doing the other game, while I was doing the Guardians-Tigers game. Here's the pitch. Grounded straight up the middle. Nathaniel Lowe at the plate, the very first pitch. He gets a single right up the middle, so the Red Sox starting off immediately with a guy on base. That's their third hit of the game, and Carlos Narvaez comes to the plate. Here's the next pitch. That's a strike. Now, earlier I said something about the game starting tomorrow. I'm talking about the ALDS, the American League Division Series games. Here's the next pitch, low and outside. And somebody has put into the chat a couple of times that the game is Saturday, not tomorrow, but that's incorrect. What I stated is correct. Game 1 between the Blue Jays and the winner of this game is tomorrow. Game 1 with the Mariners and the Tigers is also tomorrow. So I just wanted to clarify that what I stated was correct. You can see it on the schedule right here. Now, if you'll notice, it says Saturday up here, October 4th, but that's for me. Not for you guys. This is for me. Saturday for me, Friday for you. Next pitch is fouled off. So I think if somebody's going to correct me in the chat, it's probably best for you to be correct. Don't correct me if you're going to be incorrect. Don't mislead the other people in the chat. Yeah, these balls that just either got missed or just barely missed by the Red Sox. The Yankees getting a lot of poke-through hits. 2-2 is the count, fouled off. Narvaez putting up a little bit of an at-bat versus Schlittler. 65 pitches. Runner on first and no outs. Here comes the pitch. 99 miles an hour. Fouled off. The count remains 2-2. Yeah, Marduk, he has 66 pitches now, but that's after giving up a hit on the first pitch. And now he's pitched about 5 pitches or so. No, more than that. That's a 99-mile-per-hour strikeout right there against Carlos Narvaez. Wilyer Abreu comes to the plate with 1 out and a runner on. Three or 4 games on Saturday. I don't know. Oh, and 1 is the count. Wow, swing and a miss. Big swing there. Swing and a miss into the glove of the catcher. Wilyer Abreu down in the count, 0-2. I've got all the games showing for tomorrow. Here's a pitch. Chasing. Strike 3. Another strikeout for Schlittler. He's up to 70 pitches. Romy Gonzalez coming to the plate with 2 outs. So the Red Sox so far unable to move over their base runner. Here's the first pitch to Romy. 100, fouled off. 0-1 is the count. Right now, I don't see any games scheduled for Saturday. I'm sorry. For you guys, I don't see any games scheduled for Saturday. For me, there's a Saturday game, but it looks like they have one scheduled for the 3rd and the 5th. But nothing scheduled for the 4th. So I'm not sure what's going on there with the ESPN scheduler. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Romy. Runner on first. 2 outs. High. Way high. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Line drive to right field, and that's going to be down for a hit. Judge throws it in pretty quick. Runners on first and second. 2 runners on with 2 outs. Schlittler up to 75 pitches, 50 in the zone. And he'll be facing Jaron Duran. Romy Gonzalez on base with a single. I was about to say on plate. First good opportunity for the Red Sox to do something here. 99 on the outside, fouled away into the crowd for strike 1. 99-mile-per-hour fastball. Here comes the next pitch. 98 at the top of the zone, fouls it off, strike 2. 0-2 is the count. Duran calls timeout, takes a moment out of the box. Very important pitch right here. 0-2 count. Here it comes. Inside. Did he go? They say he did, and that's strike 3. Check swing on the inside. 100-mile-per-hour pitch. Duran goes down. The opportunity is wasted. 2 runners stranded. There's that check swing. Whoo, that was close, but he did just barely go around. 4.5 innings gone. The Yankees up 4-0. The Red Sox could not answer. Let's see here. Let's see what I can find out. About these upcoming games. Yeah, Schlittler's looking pretty good. I mean, his pitch count is a little high, but he's been solid. Yeah, I don't quite understand what's going on with the ESPN site. Called by the center fielder. He flies out for out number 1. Justin Slayton is on the mound. Yeah, if you take a look at this, look on this, okay? Boston versus New York live Friday, October 3rd, which is what it is for me right now. This is another one hit to center field by Ben Rice. 2 up and 2 down, 2 pitches, 2 fly balls, 2 outs. Ahmed Rosario will be up next. At least he didn't strike out. Ben Rice flies out this time. This is strange. But yeah, take a look at this. So here's the schedule. This game is live right now, right? It's Friday, October 3rd for me. If you click on Saturday, October 4th, you'll see that the Detroit-Seattle game is posted, as well as the Toronto game versus whoever wins today between the Yankees and the Red Sox. 2 straight foul balls from Rosario. The count is 0-2 with 2 outs and nobody on. Here comes the next pitch from Slayton. Low and outside. 1-2. So according to this, they're playing Saturday for me, which is Friday in the U.S., and then Monday here, which is Sunday in the U.S. Here's the toss. Fouled off. Now, assuming that this schedule is correct, the division series start tomorrow, and then there's a break the next day, the second day. So I don't understand why it's showing like that on ESPN, but that's the way it shows right now. Rosario is fouling the ball off like crazy. The count is 1-2. Here comes the pitch. Way high. The elevator goes all the way to the top floor. 2 balls and 2 strikes. They got Aroldis Chapman hanging out in the bullpen watching the game from out there. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss on the inside. Nice curveball. Slayton gets the strikeout against Rosario. 1-2-3 inning for Slayton. I bet you the Red Sox are breathing a sigh of relief about that one. Schlittler will be back on the mound with a very short rest. He's up to 78 pitches, 53 in the zone. But yeah, Marduk, I'm interested to see, you're in the U.S., aren't you? Because if you guys are seeing games on Saturday in the U.S., that's very strange because I don't see any games on Saturday in the U.S. on the ESPN site. Now, here's the thing. I'm in Japan. So whenever I pull up, and I can show it to you right here. I'll show it to you guys and gals. This is the ESPN website, all right? And whenever I pull up the MLB schedule, the dates and the times that you'll see here are not U.S. times. These are my local Japan times. So, for example, if we click on Friday, October 3rd, all right? Friday, October 3rd, because that's what it is right now for me. It's Friday, October 3rd. And then you go down here, you'll see all of the games, right? You'll see that Boston and New York are playing right now. And right over here, you see it's highlight. I highlighted it. Friday, October 3rd. So if you're in the U.S., it's the 2nd. It's Thursday, October 2nd, right? But according to this schedule, it's October 3rd. Because it is. It is October 3rd. And right now it says live. Right here it says live. Because this game is live right now on October 3rd. Friday, October 3rd. And if you go down here to Saturday, October 4th, which is tomorrow, it shows that all of the all of the division series games start tomorrow. And if you click over here on tomorrow, which is October 4th for me, what you'll see is that Sunday there's no games. The next game, game 2, is listed for Monday. Isn't that crazy? Hey, there's a single for Trevor Story right off the bat. Schlittler gives up a single to Trevor Story in the top of the 6th, right off the bat, literally. And Alex Bregman comes to the plate, and the boos kick in. 5 hits now for the Red Sox, just 1 less than the Yankees. Here comes the toss. 97 miles an hour right in there. All 3 series, 19, 17, 22, 1 against the Yankees. That could be a double play. Terrible throw to second base by Chisholm. Volpe scoops it up to get the out. No double play, but they get the lead runner. That's 1 away. Look at this. Chisholm grabs it, turns around, and promptly throws it into the dirt. Somehow, Volpe was able to make the play. Did his foot stay on the bag? Yeah, he did. Runner on first. Bregman is on first on the fielder's choice. One away. Masataka Yoshida, who's 2 for 2 today, is at the plate. 98 miles an hour, fouls it off. Strike one. He caught that ball right on the heel of his glove. Wow. Here's the next pitch. Yoshida hits it opposite field, but it's foul. 0-2 is the count. Marduk, you're asking about the lobster count. Let me take a look. 9 for the Red Sox so far, and 12 for the Yankees. Here's the pitch. Struck him out. High and outside, way out of the zone. Yoshida goes after it, strikes out. Kind of a half swing. Way high. 1 strikeout, 1 ground out. Yankees bullpen finally getting some action. 85 pitches for Schlittler, 60 in the zone. And he is facing Ceddanne Rafaela. 95 up and in, fouled off. Strike one. Let's see here. Taylor says more late inning heroics from the Red Sox late in the game, like what happened in game 1. You never know. We'll see. Here's the pitch. Oh, I kind of forgot that Garrett Cole was still, there he is over there on the right. Of course, he's not able to come in the game right now, but I kind of forgot that he was still on the team. Here's the pitch, the 1-1. Curveball outside, ball 2. Top of the 6th. 2 outs, runner on first. 2-1 pitch fouled away down the third baseline. A little bouncer. Two balls and 2 strikes. Got about 32 people following along right now. Thanks for being here. I do appreciate it. Like the live stream. Onegaishimasu, if you haven't already. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Woof. 99 miles an hour. And that's 6 innings of work. Six innings of work for Schlittler. Let's take a look at his details here. 6 innings pitched, 5 hits given up, no walks, 10 strikeouts, no earned runs, no runs at all. Good performance there by Schlittler. Pitch count was just a little high. He was almost at 80 with 52 in the zone. He was able to outlast early. Early went out early, unfortunately. His pitch count also got way up there, up to 78. But that's because he started giving up a bunch of hits. Now, they showed some of the clips earlier. Some little ground balls getting through the hole. Some errors. Some balls just barely missed. Diving. I mean, the Yankees were just kind of, it was a death by 1,000 cuts in the 4th inning. It wasn't because of big hits like home runs and doubles or anything like that. It was just the Yankees just cutting them apart with little things, and some of it honestly was just a matter of luck. Ground balls barely getting through. It all went the Yankees' way in the 4th inning. So you can't really pin all of that on the poor pitcher. The poor guy. He gave up 6 hits, 1 walk, 3 earned runs. He didn't have a bad outing, just had some bad luck. It happens sometimes, even to the best. Jazz Chisholm is at the plate, takes that first pitch, the sinker, in there for strike 1. We've got a new pitcher on the mound. That's Steven Matz. Here comes the toss. Low and outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here comes the pitch. That's hit out into right field, and that's going to be a line drive single. Chisholm is on. Leadoff base runner for the Yankees. Anthony Volpe due up next. 7 hits now for the Yankees. I wish that there were no games tomorrow. It'd be nice. It'd be perfect for me if they had games the day after tomorrow and then took the day off on Sunday. Well, for me, Sunday for me, Saturday for you guys. Anthony Volpe, 1 for 2 today with a single, a little scribbler or dribbler through the right side. Gave him an RBI. 94 in the top of the zone. Strike 1. Got another guy warming up in the bullpen for the Sox. Steven Matz on the mound right now as it is. 0-1 is the count. He's got a guy on first base. Here's the toss outside on a changeup. Ball 1. The count is even Steven. 11 o'clock in the morning here in Hiroshima, Japan. I wonder if it's a beautiful day outside. I'd like to take a look. Actually, I might open my door here and take a look. Let in some light. Just a little bit of rain outside. I didn't think it was very bright. They're showing a couple of good double plays, or double play and a catch by Volpe. 94 on the inside edge. The sinker finds the strike zone. Volpe shaking his head. I hope you're thinking that's your fault because that is a strike. One down. 95 miles an hour. Another sinker right in there. Strike 1 to Austin Wells. Wells reached on an error earlier and got an RBI as a result. Here's the pitch. Bounce down to the first base side. They go to second, back to first. Bad throw. He launches it, and Wells is going to go to second base. Trevor Story catches the ball at second for the force out and throws it way over the head of the first baseman. It started off as a good-looking possible double play. Yeah, but he didn't even need to throw it. Oh, Matz, the pitcher, was over there. He slipped and fell down. But still, that throw was way over his head. Why did they even throw it over there? Yeah, Story shouldn't have even thrown it. They give the error to Story because the throw was so high. Makes sense. He should have just held on to it. Trent Grisham at the plate. That first pitch is a strike. Runner on second. 2 outs. Here's the pitch. 95 outside. Hey, Shake. Good to see you. Shake asks if Breggy's going to be A Red Sox next year. You know, if the Red Sox get knocked out this game, he might not be. Maybe they'll gut the team. Who knows? 1 ball, 1 strike, and that pitch is outside and low. 2-1. Matt's dealing to Grisham. Grisham 1 for 3 today. Here's the pitch. 94 miles an hour, hit high on the left side. Bregman is underneath it. Puts it away. Speaking of Bregman, that's going to be out number 3. So 1 hit given up by what's his name? Matz. But he's able to get out of it. No harm done. And that's it for the bottom of the 6th. We are finished with 6 innings of ball. Top of the 7th coming up in just a moment. Nathaniel Lowe due up, followed by Carlos Narvaez and Wilyer Abreu. I'm going to grab something right quick. Be right back. Cam Schlittler is still on the mound. They are trying to get maximum mileage out of him. The first pitch is a strike to Nathaniel Lowe. But the Yankees have a righty and a lefty warming up in the bullpen. This is hit out into right field. It's playable. Who's got it? Judge is underneath it, and he puts it away. Chisholm was out there, but he backed off at the last minute. Good play by Chisholm there. He saw Judge coming in, and he backed off. He heard him coming in, rather. He must have heard the big thump, thump, thump. Funny. One down. Carlos Narvaez at the plate. First pitch is a ball. Over 2 today with a strikeout. Batting .241 for the year with 15 homers and a .726 OPS. 99 miles an hour right in there for strike 1. The count's even. Top of the 7th. This game feels very long right now. Fouled back, 95 miles an hour. Narvaez drops his bat. At least he didn't throw it. This is the first time that Cam Schlittler has had 10 strikeouts at any level, minor league or major league. That's interesting. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Carlos Narvaez. Here's the toss. 99 up and in, and he hits it straight up in the air. Should be an easy play. Made by Wells. Just a few feet in front of the plate. Two down. 95 pitches for Schlittler. Wilyer Abreu due up next for the Red Sox. Red Sox starting to run out of outs in order to mount a comeback. They're being shut out so far. Let me give a little bit of a lobster update. How many guys left on bases not moved around? The Yankees have 15. That's quite a bit. They do have 4 runs, but 15 opportunities lost. The Red Sox, 11. They haven't scored a single run. 97 right in there. Swing and a miss. Strike 1 to Abreu. Landon, didn't you say 7-0 earlier? Didn't you say 7-0? Oh, yeah, you did say 6-0. Okay, I see. I think maybe I was thinking 7 because that's what I thought the Yankees were going to score in the first game. I thought they were going to get 7 runs, and they struggled. 2 balls and 1 strike to Wilyer Abreu. With 2 outs and nobody on. Schlittler's 100 toss. The Texans and Ravens scoreboard. That's scheduled for the weekend. Yeah, of course, the Tigers beat the Guardians 6-3. They move on. And unfortunately, the Curbs held off the comeback bid of the Padres and won 3-1. This is the game we're currently in right now. 4-0 Yankees. No game for the draft Dodgers today. They get a day off. Jeremiah Burgers. Bro, what? Marduk says, what happened? Is there a problem with the stream or something? Suspended for policy violations. Really? I don't know. Well, that's strange. Now it seems to be back up. So I don't quite understand what's going on. Yeah, I don't understand. It said policy violations, but I haven't violated any policy, so I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I don't quite get it, but it is what it is. Let me get back to the game here. 0-2 is the count. Aaron Judge is at the plate. Greg Weisert is on the mound for the Red Sox here in the bottom of the seventh. Here's the pitch to Judge. Fox at bat, I don't know. It said it for a second there. It said my stream was taken down for policy violations, but I haven't violated any policy, so I don't know what's going on. Here's the pitch. Judge hits that one out into center field, and that should be playable. Right fielder comes in and takes it. Judge flies out. Yeah, I was kind of wondering because when I saw the comment, bro, then what happened? I thought you never got copyrighted. And I was like, what are you guys talking about? I had no idea what you were talking about. I had to go take a look at it. But then suddenly it came back on. I don't know why they did that. Bellinger grounds it to first base. It should be an easy flip to Weisert, and it is. He grounds out for out number 2. 2 up and 2 down. Bellinger's limping a little bit. Looks like he might have hurt his ankle a little. He might have tweaked his ankle. That brings up Giancarlo Stanton. First pitch is outside. Ball 1. One for 2 with a double and a walk today. Here's the next pitch outside. Kind of curious to know if I've got any messages from YouTube about that. I don't have any messages. I don't get it. I don't see any messages. Let me go to my studio. Next pitch is inside, 84-mile-per-hour sinker. He misses. 3 straight balls to Stanton. 2 outs, nobody on. 3-0 is the count. But yeah, Fox at Bat, your question is the same question that I have. What happened? 95 in the lower part of the zone. Strike 1. 3-1 is the count. Three and 1 pitch from Weisert on the way. He grounds it foul down the third base side, and that's a full count. What exactly is going on here? I see absolutely no messages. There are no messages about this, so it got me. My guess is as good as yours. Maybe they made a mistake. Here's the pitch. Ground ball, the shortstop. He fires it over to first. Story gets the out, and that's 3 up and 3 down for Greg Weisert and the Red Sox in the bottom of the 7th. So, right in the middle of all of these innings, through 7 innings, the Yankees put up 3 zeros, and then 4 runs, and then 3 more zeros. The Red Sox, on the other hand, are all goose eggs today. They've been having to deal with Cam Schlittler through 7 innings. He has thrown exactly 100 pitches and given up nothing as far as runs are concerned. So my guess is that after 100 pitches, more than likely he's out of the game. Now, he might come back into the game if he's one of those guys that can go up to about 115 pitches. They might let him come back. Because if the Yankees aren't hitting him very well, and he's got 15 or 20 more pitches in the tank, Why not? Stranger things have happened. We will see. I only have one message. I literally only have one message in my YouTube studio right here. It says I have gone over 250,000 views on my videos. That's the only message that I have in my inbox right now. That's it. I've got no message at all. I think what it is that some people are live streaming the game and they go through and then they take those streams down for violations of terms of service, and they took down mine by accident, or they blocked it temporarily while they looked at it, and then they realized that I'm not just showing the game. I'm not streaming the game, you know? Well, check it out. Cam Schlittler is back on the mound. He's going to continue. 101 pitches. Let's finish this Schlitt. Hilarious. First pitch is in there. 97-mile-per-hour sinker, strike one. Romy Gonzalez at the plate. Here's the pitch. Outside. Coco, yeah. Having one Astro on your team maybe is not enough. Maybe you got to have... Now, if the Red Sox had Altuve, then the Red Sox would definitely beat the Yankees, right? Right in the 8th or 9th inning. Probably in the 9th inning. In the bottom or the top of the 9th of this game, if Altuve played for the Sox, he would hit a grand slam and tie the game up. Or the Astros would score a run and then he would get a grand slam, and then the Yankees would lose 5-4. Here comes the 1-2 pitch below the zone, and that is another ball. It's 2-2. Yep, the Yankees are easily winning 4-0. 2 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and nobody out. Swing and a miss. 12 strikeouts now for Schlittler. High fastball above the zone. And Romy went after it. Couldn't get it. Jarren Duran is due up next. Commentators said that Schlittler is giving Boone reasons not to take him out. That's right. 95 miles an hour at the top of the zone, fouls up. He makes the catch and he falls into the dugout. Holy cow. McMahon in over at third. Jarren Duran fouls it over at the dugout. I cannot wait to show you this replay. What a catch by McMahon. He went into the dugout and flipped over the rail. Take a look at this. Into the dugout of the Red Sox. That is nuts. And he's fine. He's right up. He says he's all right. Thumbs up. Man, that is awesome right there. That was, you got to give kudos to that. That was an amazing catch. He could have been really hurt there. 2 outs. Story hits it to the shortstop. Volpe fires it over to first base. That's out number 3. What an inning for the Yankees. And for Schlittler, Cam Schlittler has pitched 8 innings. How often do we get to see a pitcher go through 8 innings of ball? How often do we see that? Wow. 5 hits for the Red Sox this game and 2 errors. Not a single run on the board through 8 innings. A phenomenal catch. Triska says, looks like Baston will have to head to hockey season. Yeah, let's play some hacky. You want to play some hacky? Go A's? I think the A's are relaxing at home right now watching these games with a tear on the cheek. A good question, Doug. Doug says, how did he not get injured on that catch? Good question. Really good question. Bottom of the 8th coming up. The Yankees have an opportunity, at least one opportunity, a second one if needed, to score some extra runs. You guys want to play some hacky? You guys want to play some hacky? Hacky? We like hacky in Boston. That ball was in the dirt. Something like that. I can only do a really terrible stereotyped type of impersonation of the Boston accent. Paul Goldschmidt at the plate. They're holding up a sign. One of the kids is holding up a sign, says, time to remind who owns October. Goldschmidt at the plate. Takes that first pitch in there for strike 1. The Yankees definitely do not own October, that's for sure, and not recently. It's been quite a while since they've owned October. Goldschmidt hits it right up the middle. That is a single. Aroldis Chapman is on the mound for the Red Sox. 99 right in there. Fouled off. Strike 1. Ryan McMahon at the plate. This is the guy who made the awesome catch a moment ago. 693 OPS with a 214 batting average. Runner on first. Here's the toss. Fouled off on the third base side. The 98 mile per hour fastball. I'm funny sometimes, Landon. Sometimes I'm a straight shooter. Sometimes I'm a little silly. You got to be a little balanced. Have a little bit of everything. 0-2's the count. Here comes the pitch from Chapman. 99 fouls it back. And Glosta. The perfect storm. 96. No, that's 86 mile per hour slider. Fouled back. The count remains 0-2. Mardik says, I love the quote from the perfect storm. Are we glassed them in? Or are we glassed them in? Glasta. Are we glassed them in? Awi Grostaman. Kind of strange. 87 miles an hour, low and outside. Catches that corner. Strike 3. McMahon goes down. Aroldis Chapman gets 1 out with that strikeout. 7 pitches, all in the zone, actually. Ryan McMahon is gone. Jazz Chisholm comes to the plate. Runner on first, 1 down. Here's the toss. Woo, 101 miles an hour. Swing and a foul tip miss into the glove of the catcher. 0-1 is the count. You guys want to take bets whether or not the Red Sox get any runs in the top of the 9th? Here's the toss. 100 miles an hour at the top of the zone. Swing and a miss again. 0-2. Chapman has thrown 9 pitches so far. Every single one has been in zone. Wouldn't it be crazy if Boston didn't have to face Schlittler in the 9th inning? They had a new pitcher, and they scored 5 or 6 runs against the new pitcher. And Schlittler wound up not getting the win. How terrible would that be? Chisholm fouls that one off, the slider. The count remains 0-2. What's wrong with the Boston Red Sox? Hey, how's the Yankees-Sox game going? I don't know what's wrong. What's wrong with the Boston Red Sox? Here's the pitch. Woo, strike 3. 101 miles an hour on the outside edge. Chisholm takes it. That's another strikeout for Chapman. 11 pitches for Chapman. 11 strikes. He hasn't thrown a single pitch out of the zone. Jesse, it takes, you kind of have to hear it in your head first, right? Trying to write down how a New England accent would sound. Foul ball on that first pitch. Anthony Volpe at the plate, facing Aroldis Chapman. Here's the toss. Outside. One ball, one strike. That is the first ball thrown by Chapman. Here's the next pitch. Wow, he comes back in with another ball. 99 mile per hour pitch up and outside. 2-1. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Nope. Volpe steps out of the box. Chapman is back up on the rubber. Volpe's back in. 2 balls and 1 strike with 2 outs. Here's the toss. 99 right in the zone. Fouled off. The count's now 2-2. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Volpe goes down. Aroldis Chapman. Wow. 3 straight strikeouts. He gets that final strikeout and gives a little pose on the mound as he puts down the Yankees. After a leadoff man gets on, strikeout, strikeout, strikeout. Dominant from the second batter forward. We are done with 8 innings of ball, guys and gals. We go to the top of the 9th. This is the Boston Red Sox. The Boston Red Sox. It's their last opportunity to do something. Marduk says the Sox going to score 6 in the 9th. How amazingly disappointing would that be, right? Cam Schlittler pitches 8 innings of shutout ball. Can you believe that? If that happened? Flex Seal. I wonder if they have that in Japan. That Flex Seal stuff. Let me see. Yeah, they do. They have the Flex Tape. Strong rubberized waterproof tape. Stops leaks fast. That might be something I could use to seal the leak. For those of you who don't know this, if you see the roof of my house, it's made of grass. It's a thatched roof. If you don't know this, my house is about 200 years old. And I'm not joking, by the way. It is about 200 years old. It was built during the Edo period of Japan when they still had samurai. It's completely made of wood and stone and dirt. So the floors of the house are wood and tatami, grass and wood, basically. The supports are just wood sitting on top of stones. The stones are just sitting on the dirt. The roof is very big, very tall, and it's a wooden frame made of tree limbs, a few large tree logs, and a bunch of grass. Alex Bregman is at the plate to lead it off for the Astros. He's facing David Bednar, who is in for Schlittler. Woo! Curve on the outside. It looks like it could have been a ball, but called a strike. It's 1-1 to Bregman. Doug, that's a good question. The first time I came here, I had a very interesting experience that I'd like to share, but for now, I will say this, that a lot of people feel like this is kind of a ghost house because that's just the vibe that they get when they come here. But I never got the vibe that this was a ghost house. But I can understand why some people would get that vibe, you know. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Another curveball. He's throwing a lot of curveballs to Bregman, and that's in there for a strike. So ball, strike, and it's 2-2. Hammond says, I grew up in a 300-year-old house. Nice. Plantation home. Splitter low and away. Full count. Here comes the 3-2 pitch to Breggy. Ooh, too far inside. He walked him. So Bregman gets on. It's not a very surprising result, you know. Bregman is a guy who can take pitches. That's one of the things that the Astros are really missing about Bregman is his ability to take pitches. You know, he was picky. Whereas 4 out of the Astros' main hitters are not picky at all. They are very aggressive, and they swing early in the count. And they have a high chase rate. Bregman is none of those things. First pitch is in there to Masataka Yoshida. 0-1. He's 2 for 3 today with 2 singles. Struck out his last at bat. Bregman on first with no outs. Bouncer down the first base line. Second baseman grabs it. And he sends it over to the shortstop at second base to force out Bregman. Yoshida is safe at first. Fielder's choice, 1 down. The Yankees are 2 outs away from moving on to the division series. Ceddanne Rafaela at the plate. First pitch on the way. 78 at the top of the zone. Strike one. 0 for 3 today with 2 strikeouts. Not having a good day. Can he turn it around right here? We'll see. Here's the toss. Hit down the right side. Just foul. Strike 2. 0 and 2 is the count. But yeah, what I was going to say is they were showing this commercial earlier for this stuff called flex tape. That stuff right there. And now they've got some rubber tape. This rubber tape. And it's supposed to stop seals. A while back, they put a metal covering over the grass roof of my house. And so if you look at it from the outside, all you can see is the metal covering, but underneath it is the grass roof. There are a couple of parts where the joints, where they came together, there's a little leak. And so when it rains, it gets in there. That is a strikeout. Swing and a miss. Rafaela goes down, and that's out number 2. One more out. One more out, and the Yankees will not only have a shutout, but they will have a trip to the division series. Here comes the pitch. Strike 1. Nathaniel Lowe at the plate. Masataka Yoshida is on first base. There are 2 outs here in the top of the 9th. This is the Red Sox last opportunity here. 97 mile per hour popped up on the left side. McMahon is over and he puts it away. The Yankees win 4-0. An amazing performance by that man right there, Cam Schlittler. He pitched 8 full innings for the Yankees today. Just gave up 4 hits, no walks, had a dozen strikeouts. Pretty crazy. The Yankees are going to be playing the Toronto Blue Jays in the American League Division Series alongside the Detroit Tigers, who will be playing the Seattle Mariners in the other division series. I do hope that you can join me for those games. I will be broadcasting those games. I'll be doing the live play. I'll be doing the live play-by-play for those games. So I do hope that you can join me for those. I appreciate everyone being here today. Doug says, congrats to the Yankees' comeback after losing the first game. Yeah, all the Red Sox had to do was win 1 of 2, and they couldn't do it. The Red Sox pitching looked really, really great, except for that 1 inning. If you look at the scoreboard, it's kind of crazy, right? If you see the scoreboard on the middle of my screen, it's right above me up here. You'll see that it's just a bunch of zeros, except for the 4th inning. 4 runs in the 4th. And when you go back and you look at what happened in that 4th inning, it's pretty crazy. Because they just kind of paper cut them to death in the 4th inning. Little grounders, some errors. It was pretty crazy. Jesse says, New York Yankees go to ALDS. Now they will have to face a former Astro. Yep, they're going to have to face a better team too. I think the Blue Jays are a much stronger team. Yeah, I'm not a betting guy, but if I were to bet, I'd say the Blue Jays are going to beat the Yankees. Now, the Yankees could always get on fire, but it is a longer series. You know, it's a 5-game series, right? They got to win 3. And to win 3 against the Blue Jays is going to be much more difficult than winning 2 against the Red Sox. This was obviously the the weaker games. These wild card games are against four teams that are just so-so. The Yankees, the Red Sox, the Guardians, and the Tigers. I don't think any of these teams are going to be able to get to the World Series, but stranger things have happened. We'll see. But it was a good comeback win, like you said. Like you said, Doug. The Yankees came back and were able to overcome an 0-1 situation with a single elimination and win the series. So, congratulations to them. That's not easy to do. Let's see here. Let's take a look at the... I want to take another look at this because this is kind of strange. If you look at the schedule, let's take a look at it on ESPN, okay? We kind of looked at this earlier. But if you notice here, it says Saturday, October 4th. Now, let me reload the screen, okay? I'm going to reload and refresh it. Okay, there it is. It's refreshed. Now, you guys can tell me what you see on your schedule, okay? If you pull up like on ESPN and you take a look at it, if you pull it up, because for me right now, it's Friday, October 3rd. Today is Friday, October 3rd. For me. And today's game, if you click on Friday, October 3rd, here you go. Friday, October 3rd. Do you see that? I'm going to zoom in a little bit because I want to make sure you guys and gals can see this pretty well. All right, let's scroll up. Okay, very easy to see, right? You see that? Friday, October 3rd. That's today in Japan, right now. Friday, October 3rd. If you go down here, you'll see there's the Detroit-Cleveland game that was played this morning. 6-3, Detroit won. San Diego played Chicago. Chicago won 3-1. And then this game just finished, right? Just now. Boston at New York. New York wins 4-0. Friday, October 3rd. Okay. Now, tomorrow for me is Saturday, October 4th. Okay. So Friday, October 3rd, and then Saturday, October 4th. This is tomorrow. It's literally tomorrow. And it shows that the ALDS is starting tomorrow. So if this is Saturday for me, then it's Friday for you. And several of you have mentioned the games Saturday, but according to the schedule, there are no games on Saturday. So, well, yeah, they play October 4th for me. But take a look at this. Okay, just to show you what I'm talking about here. Tomorrow is Saturday, October 4th for me. And it shows that they will play, all teams will play tomorrow. Okay, so 2 ALDS games and 2 NLDS games tomorrow, right? You see that? Now let's go back up here and click on, we'll change it to the 4th, okay? Saturday, October 4th, which is tomorrow. So we see the games that are scheduled. Okay. Okay, there we go. Now they've changed it here. So they have one ALDS game tomorrow and one NLDS game, and then they have one NLDS and ALDS game Sunday. Okay, now it's changed. So they originally had all 4 of these games scheduled for tomorrow, but now you see they've changed it. No, you're incorrect, JD. According to this, the Mariners play Detroit tomorrow. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Take a look at it. That's not Sunday for me. That's tomorrow for me. That's Saturday. See, right here on the screen. Take a look. They're the Mariners right there. They're the Mariners. It says it starts October 4th. Right here. Saturday, October 4th, which is tomorrow. Detroit and Seattle. It's right there. So somebody earlier tried to correct me and say that this game was Sunday, or this game was Saturday for you guys in the U.S. And somebody tried to correct me. The same person tried to correct me twice and say, you said tomorrow, but it's Saturday. Well, for me, tomorrow is Saturday, but the game is still tomorrow. It says it's tomorrow. It's right there. Right there. Seattle versus Detroit. So I'm kind of wondering, because JD, you said Mariners' first game will be Sunday for me, but that's incorrect. According to this game is tomorrow. Saturday for me, Friday for you. That's what I'm wondering. That's what I'm wondering about. But this schedule has changed. Just so you guys know, you can go look at it again, but this schedule has changed since earlier, because originally they had all 4 of these games showing scheduled for tomorrow. That's the way it was earlier today. And now they've changed it again so that there are only 2 games tomorrow and 2 games the next day. So I'm not sure what's going on with the scheduling right now. I don't know what's going on with scheduling. It's very strange. I can refresh it again, but I don't think it's going to matter. Yeah. Well, now it's showing 3 games. 3 games. Oh, there it is. Okay. Oh, it's changed again. Okay, see, I'm not going crazy. Look at this. It just changed again. Look at that. JD, I see what you're saying, but it doesn't have anything to do with what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is the schedule keeps changing on ESPN. It's just changed again. So the first schedule changed, and then it just changed again just now. JD, I see what you're saying. You're completely missing what I'm saying. It has nothing to do with what day it is for you and what day it is for me. It has nothing to do with that. What I'm saying is that the schedule here, I mean, I just showed it to you. I just showed it to you right here. Do you see here tomorrow? It says that there's a game between Chicago and Milwaukee, right? But I just showed you a moment ago, it also had the Mariners Tigers game listed here. Did you see that? That's what I'm telling you. Yes, exactly. Jesse, that's weird. That's what I'm saying. The schedule keeps changing on the ESPN site. So I can only go by what it says, right? I understand that they're supposed to have a day for travel and rest. I understand that, but it doesn't have anything to do with what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, I know, but I'm just saying, it doesn't matter where you live, and it doesn't matter if you're a day behind or a day ahead. None of that matters. What matters is the schedule right here keeps changing. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I just showed you guys in real time. Are you not seeing that? I mean, if you go back on my video, my live stream just a few minutes ago, you'll see that on Saturday, October 4th, it had the Mariners playing the Tigers, which is literally tomorrow. But it has now changed again. It has changed. Now it's showing the Tigers playing Seattle on Sunday. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It doesn't have anything to do with the difference between America and Japan, and it has nothing to do with that. It's just that ESPN, for some reason, keeps messing around with the schedule. So that's what I was trying to show you. And it actually happened in real time. I'm telling you, you can scrub back a little bit on the video and you can see that it was changing as I was showing it to you. Yes, thank you, Jesse. Thank you. I'm glad somebody saw it because that's why I wanted to show it to you, because this is the third time it's changed. So earlier today, when I said that, you know, the Mariners were going to be playing tomorrow against the Tigers, and I was told, no, they're not. Well, I can only, and then somebody else mentioned on ESPN that it was showing that the game started Saturday for you guys and Sunday for me. But that's not what I was seeing on ESPN. And I have refreshed the page over and over and over. And it has shown me 3 different schedules. Yes, JD, that's right. That's my point. ESPN website is a mess. That's correct. We can agree on that 100%. But it looks like we do finally have some times, some start times. If these are correct, I will not be doing the Cubs and Milwaukee Brewers game tomorrow. If you guys are interested in this game, you can probably go over to Dr. DeLay's channel. I think that he's going to be doing this game. I would guess that he's going to do the Cubs and the Brewers. So if you're interested in that, you can go check that out. But since there are no other games tomorrow, I will not be doing a live stream tomorrow. But Sunday, here's the issue. Let's take a look at this because I want to let you guys know what my broadcasting schedule might be. The Yankees play Toronto at 5:08 a.m. my time on Sunday. Now, it's possible that I'll be able to do this game, but I have an appointment around 10 a.m. on Saturday, so I cannot do the Detroit-Seattle game. I will miss this game. I'm just letting you know. Sunday, I'm going to meet a friend of mine, and we're going to spend pretty much the day together, hanging out. We're going to go to a nature area where they've got a lot of beautiful nature here in Hiroshima. And it's the first time I've been able to get away from the house and go meet somebody and do something. So that's the only day that she's free. And that's the only opportunity I'm going to have before a friend of mine arrives from Australia next weekend. So I will not be able to do game 1 of the ALDS between the Tigers and the Mariners right here. This game right here. Just to let you know. I'd like to, but it starts right about the time I'm going to be meeting her. So the New York Yankees, Toronto Blue Jays game at 5 a.m., I should be able to do that game. So I'll see you for that game. And then I'll be back for game 2 for the Yankees and Blue Jays on Sunday for you guys and gals, and the Tigers and the Mariners game 2 on Sunday after that. I'll be able to do these 2 games. So anyway, after game 1 of the Tigers and Mariners, I should be able to do all of the rest of the games moving on through the World Series, assuming that there's no conflict with the Texans games, because I'm going to prioritize the Houston games over the others. But yes, that was my point. All day long, the ESPN scheduling it's been wacky. So it is what it is. Jesse says, I wonder which Astro player is Brett on Locked on Astros inviting to his show. That's a good question. Maybe it's Yainer Diaz again, so he can find out what his problem is. I'd like to see him have on Christian Walker. That would be an awkward interview, wouldn't it? I think so. He should bring on Christian Walker, and everybody would. Oh, man, can you imagine what the live stream would say? The live stream comments would say, Jesse? If they brought Christian Walker on the show, oh my gosh, I don't even want to imagine the comments that would come in. That'd be crazy. What a game and what a day of baseball. The Tigers win and move on. The Yankees win, move on. Unfortunately, the Cubs win and move on. The Dodgers, the only team that squeaked by without having to go to a game 3, but now they've got to face the Phillies. As long as the Phillies play decently well, I'm sure that they'll be able to beat the Dodgers. And that's pretty much it for today. I do appreciate you all checking out the game. Thanks for the comments. Thanks for the super chats, the donations, the comments, and all the support for the channel. I really do appreciate it. I'm looking forward to actually having a day off tomorrow. I might do some shorts, do some clips, but I do have a video scheduled for Sunday, but I might move that up. It's a premiere video. I might move it up till tomorrow, since I won't be able, since I don't have any games tomorrow. I have one to do Sunday before I leave. And since I don't have any games tomorrow, I might reschedule that video. Let me bring it up. I can give you guys the URL. Let me drop it in here. There we go. I decided to have an interesting chat with the AI the other day, specifically talking about the potential outlook for Christian Walker for 2026, as well as what could be done with Paredes when he comes back to the team. It was a pretty interesting response that I got, and I thought, this is very interesting, and actually gave me a very long and thoughtful response. It was more than a 10-minute response. Can you believe that? That's crazy. That's a very long response. But it was a very detailed layout discussing Isaac Paredes and Christian Walker and what are the likely outcomes for them with the Astros come 2026. And I really wanted to share it with you guys, so I went ahead and recorded it, and I posted it online. I will probably go ahead and premiere that tomorrow, since I will not be doing any live streams tomorrow. So you can look for that. You can bookmark it. That's the link. But I think that I will reschedule it. Let me set up the time. I'm going to change it to tomorrow at 12 a.m. my time. Should be, let's see, 11:59. Yeah, it should be early in the day for you guys and gals. There we go. Let me save that. This one was ChatGPT, Jesse. The version 5, the new version 5. You can still use version 4, which I actually prefer. But there's a deep research mode that you can use. And it is very good. It is very good. It will go online, and with your permission, it browses the internet to gather information. And as it's giving the answers to your question, it cites its sources. So it's very nice. It gives some really informed answers. If you do the deep research mode, it will always give you more up-to-date answers and better answers. And the reason is because it will search the internet and look for answers to your question. The problem with the using the model that doesn't have the deep research, the problem with that is that it often uses outdated information. So, for example, if you ask ChatGPT directly, hey, what do you think the biggest contributors to the Astros or who do you think the biggest contributors to the Astros are going to be this year? It might list Alex Bregman as one of those. And then you have to tell ChatGPT, pardon me, but I need you to update your information because you're pulling up 2024 information. So if you don't do the deep research, it won't search online to get most recent information. It will just go ahead and pull from what it knows about 2024. And so sometimes you would get information that is incorrect and out of date. So if you do the deep research mode, it will actually search in real time on the internet right now. And sometimes it can take a while. It might take 5 minutes or it might take longer for it to compile all of the information and formulate a good bit of data for you. But it's an excellent mode to use. And I find it very interesting and useful. But there's a limit to how many times you can use it within a month. You can't just use the deep research mode unlimited. You're limited to how much you can use it. So I use it here and there. But it gave me a really interesting answer about Christian Walker and how Isaac Paredes might be utilized and how the Astros might handle Christian Walker. I think ultimately it essentially said that there's only about a 40 to 50% chance that the Astros are able to and willing to move on from Christian Walker. So essentially the perfect storm, if you want to call it that, of events would have to happen in order for them to not only have the desire, but the ability to move on from Christian Walker. For example, the Astros have a really great opportunity to sign a guy at first base that is a really good hitter. If we can find a guy like that and get him at a really good deal, then the chances of getting rid of Walker and replacing him are much higher. But what are the chances of that happening? According to ChatGPT, is about 40 to 50%. Jesse asks if I have to pay for the subscription or the features. Yeah, there's a limit to how many inquiries you can make to ChatGPT if you have a free account. The deep research mode, my guess is that you cannot use it without the paid account. But I've had the paid account now for several months. I have to have the paid account. I mean, a lot of the stuff you're seeing on the screen is what I've created with ChatGPT. Even something as simple as the live chat. If you look on the screen right now, let me show you a few things. The scoreboard layout, the scoreboard, the score, the innings, and the score each inning, the balls, the strikes, the outs, the who's batting, who's pitching, the base runners, all of that information is built with code. There are 3 different files. There's the HTML file, the JavaScript file, and the CSS, the style sheet file. And all of those are code. And that code was all built by ChatGPT. And it was built using my ideas. So I basically show ChatGPT kind of not only what I would like for the layout to look like, where I would like everything to be located, but I also tell it what kind of information I want to include. And then there's the extra step of connecting it to what's called an API. An API is essentially a live feed of information that comes from a source. In this case, it happens to be MLB. So all of the information about all of the games that's available right now is actually, you can pull that information from the MLB site, but you can't pull it directly. As a private user, you can't pull it directly. It has to go through a server. And so now this is all stuff that I had to learn, and it took a long time, but ChatGPT walked me through all of this and helped me set it up. But I set up a a server on my computer, and I have to run that server, and it creates a port, basically like a door for that information to flow through. So I connect my software and those files, this scoreboard that you're looking at, I connect that to the port, to the server, and then that server port is connected to the API from MLB, and it gets all of the information. It pulls all of the available information that MLB has, and then it translates it onto the screen in the appropriate boxes, right? So if you look at the top, you have the name of the team, the score, their record, their current record. The location of the game at the top says at Yankee Stadium. I didn't type that there. It automatically is put there from the API. The same thing with all of the scores in the innings, the total hits, the runs, or total runs rather, the hits, the errors. All of those things are updated automatically. The baseballs showing the balls, strikes, and outs, those are automatic. All of that's automatic on the screen right now. Everything on the screen is automatic. The only thing that is not showing on the screen as automatic at the moment are the team logos. I'm changing those out manually. I just haven't gotten around to changing the code so that it automatically shows the so that it automatically shows the team logos. But even my live score, this live scoreboard here, I built this using the same kind of setup so that I can show all the live scores of all the MLB games that are showing today. Plus, I tossed in the Texans games because, you know, I do the Texans and Houston sports. Also, I'm going to have the Rockets in there very soon. As the Rockets start to play, I'll have the Rockets scoreboard, and I'll have an NBA scoreboard. I would really like to set up a couple of different computers, a couple of cheap computers, and do live streams, like 24/7 live streams of baseball scores, NBA scores, NFL scores, etc., like that. Actually, what I want is to do a widescreen live stream, 24 hours, showing all of the professional sports scores. If I do that, I can just leave it up all the time, and it's always showing the scores for multiple games. And then people can use those live scores on their own websites. They can use my video to show on their own pages. Larry, you always come in saying the same thing, but I don't know why you bother saying those things, because I think there's 0% truth to what you're saying. I lost $5K twice today, including my rent money. That's exactly what you said a couple of days ago. You said that you lost your rent money a couple of days ago, and that was the last $5,000 that you had. And then a couple of days before that, you said you bet $5,000 on that game for the Astros to win, and the Astros did win that game. So supposedly you would have won $5,000 back plus whatever the extra was. But then you said you supposedly lost it in the next game, and now you say that you lost $10,000. But the other day you said that was your last $5,000. So I don't understand exactly what you're hoping to accomplish by coming in here and dropping questionable comments. Crazy. Daryl says, "Go Blue Jays. Go Springer." I will definitely be rooting for George Springer and the Blue Jays, even though they are not an American team. It is called the World Series, you know, so we got to have some other teams from another country, right? Probably so. You're probably right, Jesse. What is it about his comments? He always says the same things. He bet $5K and his rent money was in it. He used his rent money. He doesn't have any money left. That was his rent money. He always says the same things. But if what he said was true, if everything that he said was true this week, it doesn't make any sense. because the last game that he lost, he said that was the only money he had left, and it included his rent money. So how did he get 10K to bet twice on 2 games? It doesn't make any sense, does it? And why does he always bet 5K? I think it's better to just go ahead and remove him from the channel, because I don't understand what his intentions are. It's better to just get rid of him because his comments aren't making any sense. But that's all right. Pretty good day of baseball. And that's it. Yankees win, Tigers win. I have a day off tomorrow. I hope you can enjoy. I'm going to pin that message. I hope you can enjoy my video, my little chat with AI. And feel free to, yeah, you're right, Daryl, fishy story. And I hope you can share it. If you enjoy it, you can share it with others. But for now, that's going to be it. I will see you for the Blue Jays and Yankees, I believe, on Sunday. Unfortunately, I will not see you for the Mariners game, but I do plan to leave up my live scoreboard and leave that running while I'm gone. So for those of you who are interested in just stopping by to donate or say hello, check out the scores, the updated scores. I will be having my live score rotating on the screen for you. I hope to remember to do that, so that way you can at least check out the scores of the game or keep it on in the background. That's it for now. I appreciate you guys and gals, and have a really good weekend, regardless of whether I see you again over the next couple days or not. I hope you all have a good weekend. Much love to all of you, and thank you for the super chats and all of the support. Absolutely, Jesse. Let's see what happens in the ALDS. Going to be interesting. I think so. That's it for now. See you guys and gals. Bye-bye.